Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of Guapish. We have a very special topic on our hands today, and that is because of a big accomplishment that happened in the Geometry Dash community. That being that 2 new top 1 verifications were done in a single day recently. I'm not going to say the names of these levels because it might give away some of them that are in our challenge, but of course we are doing the Geometry Dash Demon Ranking Challenge once more. I'm trying to get that revenue going for us here because it's a topical topic now, given the new accomplishments. So of course, this is something we've done previously. I have a list of levels, demons if you will. You guys are going to watch them, rate them, what you think is the correct order, of course, and then we'll see who's closest in the end. Do we all understand the rules? It's the same thing as last time.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Who are we, though?
Awesome. Yes, I'm going to, of course, introduce our contestants here. First up, we've got the number 1 owner of Noobs here. Tanner, you won the last one. Are you thinking you're going to win this one, too?
I did?
I'm pretty sure you and Nico tied, but, you won in, a technicality.
Dude, I fucking smashed him. It wasn't even contested, and I'm gonna do it again. God damn it.
Hell yeah. And of course, we've got our number 2 runner-up here, Nico. You were neck and neck with Tanner. You unfortunately, I think, lost because you didn't get, exact placement. Doesn't matter. You were still killing it. How are you thinking you're going to do this time?
The biggest problem with Geometry Dash is that it's a lot of shapes, but I ain't seeing a whole lot of equations in there. This is hardly geometry. It's basically just putting a square peg in a circular hole, if you ask me.
True. It really is like that, huh? Blake, you are a new one on the podcast for this segment specifically. You don't really play that much Geometry Dash, but you've seen some of it. You've been in some early levels. How are you liking your chances of correctly ordering these 9 demon levels?
Well, they all look pretty impossible from what I've seen. But, and it's been years since I played it regularly, but I'll give it a go.
Awesome. Dylan, welcome back. You are our runner-up underdog champion from last time here, and by that I mean you lost, but now you're an underdog because you lost, and I hope you're gonna win. How do you like your chances?
Dude, last time's contest means nothing to me now. I'm here to win this thing, alright? Let's get that straight.
I'm excited for you. I'm hopeful that you're about to crush these fucking losers in this Geometry Dash challenge.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, we've got 9 levels. I think last time we did 8. They are a little bit shorter this time. I had some pretty long ones last time. I think the longest one in this is 2 minutes, but we've got a couple of them that are sub 60 seconds. So we'll see how long this one goes. I'll also give you guys a bit of runner-up information. Last time I misspoke. I said that Insane Demons are above Extreme Demons. That's wrong. Extreme Demons are the level above Insane Demons. And this time we have 1 Insane Demon, 7 Extreme Demons, I guess technically 8 Extreme Demons, and we have 1 Impossible level.
Trust me, dude, I read the comments on the last video. Those people fucking tore you to shreds. But you know what I have to say? If you have any problems with Jackson this episode for any misspeaking he may be doing this time around, fuck you! Go ahead, Jackson. Let's check out some levels.
Anyway, I'm just going to say one more thing, too. We shouted them out in the videos and in the description last time, but I'm just going to give a verbal shout-out, too, this time. For the people that I'm getting these videos from, we've got FNM04, Nexus GD, Just a GD Player, Mist, and Zoff. Thank you, guys. I didn't ask permission, but I'm using your footage. Please don't copyright strike us.
And I would just like to say, fuck you guys, too. I don't want to give you the attribution, but Jackson's doing it anyway.
Rat bastard, this Nico guy. I no longer want him to win this challenge.
Damn.
Anyways, we are starting off. This is a very similar format. You guys are just going to keep a running list of what you think is the hardest, and I'll be asking you guys. Our first one here is A Cute, codename Cute.
Whoa. I don't think I've ever seen an effect like that. Jesus, that was crazy.
Is this looking pretty easy so far?
Honestly, this isn't seeming too terribly bad so far.
Okay. Does this compare to much you've seen in the last one? Does this seem hard compared with the last challenge?
Yeah, honestly, this seems easier than pretty much everything we saw in the last challenge for the most part. Which is gonna make me seem like an absolute fool, and this is the hardest level in the fucking game. But, thus far with my limited knowledge, I just don't feel like this is too terribly tough.
That's fucking crazy. Oh my god.
That one's short
Like,
and
if
sweet,
anything,
though.
that just kind of seems like a club step monster, if you ask me.
Dude, there probably was a club step monster somewhere in that level. That shit was loud as fuck for me, though. I'm turning that down.
It
Hopefully
was,
the
yeah, I
next
had to
one
turn the
stays up.
stream down.
It's impossible to say. Anyways, I'm assuming you guys are all putting that as your hardest one currently we've seen.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
far, you said that one was called Cute?
Yeah, codename Q. That was a codename Q.
Okay.
I would also appreciate if you guys do think you've sussed out the insane or the impossible level, please make that known. I'm curious which ones you guys think they are. Do you guys, any of you guys think that was either an insane demon or an impossible level?
An impossible
idea.
It's
level,
hard-
aka a silent level?
Yeah, that honestly is applicable.
Nice.
Well, let's watch one more, I guess, and let's see if you guys can
Yes.
maybe come to a deeper conclusion here. We've got B Crystal, codename Crystal.
Crystal.
Okay, so it had a Flappy Bird section there, which, if I recall, is fucking devious.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also
I mean,
got
the
a
last one
ship.
also had a
Those
Flappy
aren't
Bird
too
section.
terrible. This map is looking extremely tight, but like I don't know. At the same time, I don't know if that's just kind of set dress. No, that shit looked fucking insane. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
this
that was
definitely immediately seems tougher than the other
Yeah,
one.
exponentially more difficult.
Yeah, look at all the
Impossible
fucking...
even?
I don't know if I'd go
Pensive?
that far. He
I don't
seems
know
to
if
be
I want to
doing
say
it.
that yet. It seems a little...
It'd be very funny if the impossible level he just fails at the end.
Yeah, no, he just gets like 10% through.
Dude,
Holy
it's Metal
shit! Is that
Sonic.
Metal Sonic?
Hell yeah,
There is
me and
a-
Nico knows
I
what's
don't know if
up.
that's an actual icon in the game or if that's just like a mod he's in like a texture pack. I will say the song of this level goes fucking hard.
He's got quite a... He had a bullet bill.
Yeah, this level is absolutely harder than the previous one. It feels longer as well so far.
I mean, the last one was really short.
Oh
It was
my
like
God.
50 seconds long.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it's still going. Oh my god.
It's... I think the thing that's throwing me off about the last one is the, like, stage swap where it kind of did the back and then forth thing. That's probably what is fucking me
I mean,
up
you
right
guys
now.
can read into or not of this comment, but the mirror portals, that's what those are, where they swap which direction the person's going. Those are very hard to read because there is like a full second or so where it's like transitioning the swamp and you can't see fucking anything there. Everything you're doing in the middle of those inputs are blind, and those are pretty annoying. People don't
Right.
use them for that reason because it's just unfun and stupid gameplay. People want to be able to see what they're doing, and that unfortunately disables that.
Yeah.
You don't need to convince me anymore, Jackson. I think this is harder than the previous level.
I agree.
Are we all in agreement to this?
I think so.
We all think that Crystal is harder than Q. All right, let's see if this continues. There is a preamble for this next level. This is 2 players, right? But we're counting it as if it's one person doing 2 players, right? So you can do this. You can play the game in 2-player mode, where basically like one person's on the top, one person's on the bottom, and there's separate inputs. Like one person clicks their mouse, one person jumps. So you have to manage 2 inputs at the exact same time. You guys will see what I mean when we play this level. But basically, this is one person playing this level for context, and it's not like they click the mouse and both icons on the top and bottom do jump at the same time. It's only one, so they have to control 2 separate icons at the exact same time.
Good lord.
This one
What's
is
the code name for this one?
Number 3, C Duo.
Okay.
Duo.
Alright, so far, nothing too bad. Looking about on par with that first level we've seen so far. This is looking a little more crazy now.
Okay, and it is different between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
I've never seen
God.
anything like this before. They're playing 2 levels at the exact same time.
I don't know if that's going to constitute to this being a more difficult level, though. Is this supposed to be intended for 2 people to play, or...
I will say there's a list of like all the hardest games in this game. This one is on the list twice. One for doing it solo, another one for doing it with 2 players. And the difficulty ranking, like the rating on the list, is vastly different.
I would imagine... So this can, in fact, be rated as if it was a 1-player level.
I'm using the rating if this was one person doing it, not 2.
Gotcha. I would not be surprised if this is fucking impossible. Because I can't imagine...
Honestly, I'm already willing to say this is the impossible one.
This one's also quite long too. I think this one's like over 2 minutes.
It's seeming like it. There's a decent bit of flappage going on in here as well,
Yeah, I
which is
keep
an
seeing that as
immediate
well.
red flag.
Shout out all the creators that made this level. They really want to make themselves known.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is I'm trying to... Geometry Dash, for obvious reasons, is known for you can see, like, the icon or the player going in rhythm with the song it's with. I'm trying to, like, figure out where it is between the two players. It doesn't seem to be really following the beat between either of them, which makes that a little more difficult to follow. Oh my god. They just flop
They're
sides.
crossing streams.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, they're not exactly follow... Oh my god.
Okay, so obviously that level seemed Oh, it's Peter Griffin, look at that. So obviously this level is insane.
The insane
However,
demon?
That's what...
I'm gonna go as far as to say I think it's only our number 2 so far.
You think Crystal's harder than this one?
Yeah, you know, the 2-player thing, I think it's just a gimmick. It probably isn't as bad as you're making it out to be.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. I'm not...
Yeah, I think this is going to end up being a massive blunder on his part.
And yet, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm saying this is number 2 thus far.
I respect it, honestly. I fucking respect it, because if he's right, this could be a big W for him.
What's the alias for this one?
This one's alias is Duo.
Duo. Oh, duh. That would make the most sense. Yeah, regardless.
Although most of these are really obvious, I would say, for the most part. Unless it's a more, like, abstract, like, what the fuck? The first one, I did not think of anything to name that, so I just said cute, because the song's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The next one is Soliloquy.
Yeah. Blake, what were you thinking about that one? Do you think that was the hardest one, or do you think that Crystal might be harder?
I feel like it might be the easiest of the 3.
Easiest of the 3, okay.
That we've seen so far, but I'm still not saying I could ever do it, but...
Fair enough, man. I mean, it's all relative to
Interesting
each other.
assertion.
I like it though, dude. He's being his own person here. He's going against the grain.
True.
He decided Nico was too big of a pussy, so he
He
doubled
went
down
one
on
further.
it. Yeah.
Anyways, we've got level number 4 here. This is D Speed.
Speed.
Ironically, this is not the fastest level in this challenge.
So far, not too terrible. It's seeming pretty simple, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, this just
I like how
doesn't
there's-
seem that bad.
I like how there's little
Yeah,
indicators
like, this
of...
is the first one we've watched where I'm like, oh, I can actually keep up with what's happening.
I like how there's
You can
little indicators
conjure
of what
what's
you
happening.
should and should be hitting as far as inputs go. I mean, sure, there's the disappearing background, but that's nothing crazy.
No,
This
of
hardly
course.
seems like a custom level, to be honest.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a Fook map, if you ask me.
Whatever
Whatever the
that
fucking
means.
Fuka map is.
Is this him controlling both of them again?
Most levels, it's they're synced up together. It's like a setting you have to enable to make it so that the 2-player is manually controlled.
Okay, Flappy Bird section, red flags, still don't think it's quite as bad. What was that coin you picked up?
There's gold coins in main levels, but there's also user coins for user-made levels.
A little bit of
That's what those silver ones are.
memorization going on there as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of this...
It's not even that long either. I'm immediately willing to say that one's the insane.
Yeah, I want to say that's
Okay.
the insane as well. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that one really just doesn't seem that bad at all. A lot of it seems like you don't even need to memorize it. You can just do it based off visuals alone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting.
That one is a pretty old level too. It's I think that one was originally in 1.9, so that shit's like a decade old.
Yeah, and also impossible. Little did we know there was a section there where there's an invisible wall that kills you.
I
No,
mean-
genuinely, sometimes with like you guys saw Silent Club Step. Sometimes these old levels can be. I'm not trying to. This is not me trying to be a red herring here. But sometimes impossible levels can really be. It's like some old level where it looks easy as fuck, but then there's one insanely hard choke point that makes it like it's obscenely hard, and you just have to like watch out for what that choke point is.
Right.
There's a lot of old levels that have that pattern. I'm not saying this one is necessarily, but that is that is an option here. So it
Can
sounds
you
like we're
pull
all
up
pretty much
that
in agreement. So
really
this is-
brutal section, that one geometry map that was turned into a meme?
Dude, no, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh,
So
okay.
it sounds like we're all in agreement that speed is the easiest so far. Blake, are you saying that one too?
Yeah, I feel like Jackson's grandma could play faster levels than that.
Here we
Damn.
go. I think she could too. I think my grandma could
And she's
crush Stereo
dead.
Madness.
Oh my god.
She's
Tanner.
not, but she's pushing it, dude. She's pushing that ticket. She's like almost 90. Anyways, we've got a complete change of pace here. We've got E Atmosphere.
Ooh. Oh, look at that. Look at that little guy go.
This level is very visually distinct.
This is... Huh.
This is also, of course, the robot game mode. If you guys don't remember, this means that you like can modulate how high you jump depending on how long you hold.
I think this one is deceptively incredibly difficult because he appears to be. Well, I assume those aren't fake spikes. Wait, are they fake spikes, or is he actually having to land on the very? Okay, so he's having to like precisely land on the very, very tip of the platform.
Yeah, he's having to finagle his way in there. This is an insanely nice looking level, though. I think this shit looks awesome.
I don't know, man. I beat Celeste, and I think there are harder platforming sections in that than what's going on here.
Jesus. I don't know if that's saying something about Celeste or if that's detracting from this.
The background in this level goes hard as fuck, too.
If we get to the end of the quiz and you tell us that this one was the impossible, I wouldn't be surprised. Just because this seems like so many ultra-precise jumps in a row.
And as we saw there at the end, he died. He didn't beat the level.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is the impossible one.
I think I'm in agreement there.
I think that was just... A lot of these levels are modded in a specific way. I'm sure that was just like the custom ending for that level.
What was the name for that one again?
Atmosphere.
That one was Atmosphere, yeah. Atmosphere.
I don't know. I think this is the second easiest, to be quite honest.
Second easiest, okay. This one definitely was one I was assuming was going to be pretty divisive.
I think I am going to trust my gut and say that one's the hardest.
I'm also going with that.
How about you, Blake? What are you thinking about this one?
I don't know if it's the hardest. I feel like the first one might have been the hardest.
Where do you have it in your list? So you think that Cute's the hardest right now? What's your list looking like?
So far, yeah, I'm still updating it and reconfiguring my notes here.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask you at the end, and hopefully you've got 9 total. We shall see. Next up, we've got W Hell. W Hell. This one also has clicks. I could not find a fucking recording of... This is a live play. I could not find one that's just like a 4K good recording. This is the best recording one I could find, but it has clicks to someone's completion.
Gotcha.
Okay, this one's unfortunately not the impossible one. You guys can know that, I guess, but...
Okay, we got some flappage happening here as well.
Yeah, it's
pretty extended sequence too. These corridors are tight, but I feel like we've seen tighter is the problem, even than the last one.
I know I've seen tighter.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Okay, so this is a 2-person where he's having to control them separately.
Yeah, but that didn't seem... Okay.
What? That ending...
It didn't seem that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that above Atmosphere, honestly.
Alright, the question here, though, was Jackson having a hard time finding other footage of this because it's such a difficult level, or is it just because it's more niche?
I will say all of these levels are very popular.
Okay. Which
what was the alias for this one again?
This one was Hell. W Hell.
Gotcha. Phone trying to autocorrect me to heal? Nah, dude, there's
Bad
no apostrophe in there. Well, no, like heal as in he will. Trying to make it a apostrophe word instead of, the normal shit.
Wait,
anyway.
this one was Hell?
Yeah, this one was Hell. W Hell.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one is the second easiest above Speed.
Okay.
Personally, I think it's the third easiest. I put it above Atmosphere.
Well, I'm just having such a tricky time here. Jackson giving us that fucking information about, like, the clicking and shit is really throwing me for a loop here, because I also don't think it's that difficult, but at the same time, why couldn't he find any other footage? I
will say, I'm going to give you guys a bit more of meta information, too, yeah. This one, I think, is harder than the first challenge because some of these ones, like on the upper end of the scale, are a lot closer in rank than the last one we were doing. But also, the last one I think I'm saying is harder potentially because it had more like red herrings. Like I was trying to trick you guys in that last one. I'm not even upfront about that. I had a lot of ones that looked harder or looked easier than they actually were. This one, these are a lot more like transparent in their difficulty, I would say. It's just that a lot of them are like closer together, so it's hard to like fine tune maybe where they'd land, if that helps you at all.
I really want to say that this is in the lower end, but I just don't know. There has to be some, like, really fucking hard part there. Especially just, like, hearing the guy at the end there with his celebrating. Like, if this wasn't, like, an insanely difficult level, he wouldn't be doing that shit.
in retrospect, dude, these are demons at the end of the day. People pour hundreds of attempts into this. I'm sure anybody who can complete a demon, like, when they finally get it, I'm sure anybody loses their mind. So, it's not unjustified that he celebrated the way he did at the end there. I think you're overthinking this way too much.
And yeah, I don't think you're thinking about it enough. I'm gonna be putting it between Crystal and Duo.
Between Crystal and Duo. Okay, interesting. Blake, how about you? What are you thinking about this one?
I think I'm putting it at number 4.
Number 4. Okay. Well, next up, we've got a switch up here. We've got X, codename Crazy.
This is looking crazy.
Very nice level designing. There's a lot going on.
This is another pretty tight one.
Yeah,
It
for
is,
sure.
yeah.
It's also one of those ones where, at least for a moment there, the level was kind of assembling itself as he made progress, and I know that, at least for me, that screws me up. Oh my god.
This song sounds like it was from Blake's top 5 from last year.
Very funny.
I could see it.
A lot
The
of
thing
tempo
that's
change
hitting
here.
me is how many tempo changes this one
Yeah,
has.
that's exactly what I was just looking at.
That's why it's called Crazy, guys. I get it now.
I
I'm
get
glad
it.
you got it.
This one does seem pretty rough.
It looks pretty crazy, huh?
It's going on for a decent bit as well. So,
And, like, half the time, I see what he's doing. I can't see why he's doing it, is the problem. Which tells me a part of it's memorization, but maybe, like, I'm looking why
Let's
he's
not
doing
get it twisted,
zigs.
man. All of these levels are like crazy memorization.
Fair enough, but my main point I'm trying to put out here is that most of the time when he's putting in an input, I can't, like, see what he sees, I guess. So that also is, like, adding to the difficulty, I think.
This is a pretty dark level, so it is kind of hard to understand even what the gameplay is at some parts.
Good lord.
What do we think? What are we thinking about X Crazy? Crazy.
I'm thinking that one's crazy difficult. There were some parts in that where I don't know how he's capable of threading the needle through those spikes. And I don't know, much like Atmosphere, it didn't look like he completed the level at the end either.
Is the impossible recording gonna be like a TAS thing?
Yes, there is bots in
Okay.
this game that just like auto record inputs.
Okay.
It definitely seemed to be one of the more difficult, but it didn't seem that crazy to me. I'm gonna go third most difficult below Duo for me.
I think it's
I'm right there
Okay,
with
okay.
Tanner with third most difficult. Of course, mine's below Crystal, though.
I put mine below Duo, but it also makes mine second most difficult, so.
You know what, though, actually, I think I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. That level's probably much more difficult than we're giving it credit for. A lot of those fucking sections were really insanely tight, and I kind of find it difficult to believe that a human was capable of doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's second most difficult thus far.
Okay.
I'm putting it at number 1. A lot of it was like really hard to see in some spots.
It is a very dark level, yeah. Okay, this is a pretty contentious one too. It seems like it's definitely lining pretty high for most of you guys, but it's all in different spots. Well, we've got 2 more left, and of course, if you guys want to, I assume none of you guys are going to take up this offer. You can go and watch back some of these again if you want to maybe solidify your placements. This next one, we have got Y, codename Angel.
This one looks oh my god.
This is a very visually distinct level.
Yeah, what the fuck?
My eyes are having a seizure.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god!
This one's
this has
just
to be number
nuts.
Jeez, oh my god.
I have such a hard time distinguishing what the fuck is actually happening to truly be able to judge how
Oh my-
difficult this could possibly be.
Dude, that
Yeah,
zigzag
I can't tell if
section,
you guys are
though.
reacting to the gameplay or if you guys are reacting to the visuals.
It's mostly the visuals because I can't tell what the fuck is happening in terms of the gameplay.
I mean, I'm reacting to both, but dear god. Oh
I will
my-
say this is my favorite song so far.
This one's kind of a banger, not gonna lie.
It's a Miku song, dude. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Jesus Christ, dude.
No, this is... Are you fucking kidding me right now?
What do you want me to say about this, man? What do you want from me? I don't know how to evaluate this shit.
Oh my god! This level's fucking nuts! What?
I love watching this level. It cracks me up every time. It's just so fucking chaotic.
Okay, so that's the impossible demon, right?
I'm not fucking telling you. What are you guys thinking? What are we thinking about Angel?
I think it's the impossible demon.
A hot
quite frankly.
take here. I actually, that one struck me as actually not that hard, and it was just a lot of visual noise, to be honest.
I feel like
think
visual noise.
It's like some
adds to
Miku
it.
shit.
yeah, I think I'm going to put it. I think I'm gonna put it third easiest above Hell for me.
Okay.
I can't get behind
I
that.
agree with my husband. I'm right there with him. It seems like this is the type of level where it is just sort of an overload for your senses, and it's just supposed to trip you up. You're trying to trick us, Jackson. You're being a crafty little lad again. I'm not
You're
falling
being a
for
sneaky
it.
little Jew again.
Well,
I'm also think it's probably the third easiest.
Probably the third
You know
easiest.
what?
Okay.
Again, I'm gonna double down. I'm actually the second easiest for that one. What the fuck was that one called?
Angel.
Angel, okay.
Dylan, are you still saying this one's the impossible one, or are you being convinced?
Dude, what does my word count for if I don't stand by it?
That's fucking base as shit. I love you for that. Blake, how about you? What are you thinking about Angel?
That's my new number one.
Okay.
There we go.
I will say Blake is playing on hard mode. He doesn't have audio. He's so he doesn't know what the fuck any of this shit sounds like. So
damn.
he's got a bit of a disability there. I mean, technically,
I
you
hope
could
that
watch my
means
stream
he
on your
wins.
phone if you wanted to and hear it through that. But,
That's what I'm doing.
yeah, I don't know how great of an experience that would be, but it's an option. We got one level left. I'll just show you I'll show you these after the recording. It doesn't matter. Speaking of, we do have one level left until you guys want to go and do some reruns if you'd like to. This one is Z Purgatory.
Vocal track, that means it's harder.
Yeah, what the fuck did he do there at the beginning? It looked like he went through a spike.
It's just like a fake block, probably.
Okay, gotcha.
This one looks way easier than all of them.
I agree with Blake. This one does seem pretty easy, Jackson. What's this low ball you're throwing at us?
There it is.
Perhaps I judged it too soon.
Potentially you did. This one does have a much easier pre-drop than some levels.
Yeah. There have been multiple sections already where you see a pretty long stretch where they just gotta fucking mash to keep themselves going straight. Those ones can be pretty... Yeah, again, we had another one there. Those sections can be pretty grueling.
It takes, that's straight flying. It takes a lot of precision to be able to, click really fast and precisely in such a way that you don't modulate so that you stay very perfectly centered.
It seemed like they're... Okay, so that was a very short level, but... Again, it seems like there's just so much skill needed for quite a few of those sections throughout it. Like that section where he's just fucking curving himself through a bunch of spikes, that one seems dastardly.
Yeah, a lot of that to me seemed like it's a stamina test almost.
A pretty high CPS level, I would say. Yeah, that's a reasonable assumption, Tanner.
I'm kind of only thinking it's middle of the road for me.
I agree.
I think I'm gonna put it dead center for me in between Crystal and Cute.
Dude, same.
I'm putting it at 3.
Put in number 3, okay.
I'm throwing it down number 4. You guys are perhaps unlike Blake, of course, though. Blake the Go. You guys are underrating it a bit, perhaps.
I mean, I think it's still difficult, but relative to everything else,
Also,
True.
again, what was that one called?
That one was called Purgatory. Z
That's
Purgatory.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, well, per usual, any of these levels you guys want to do another rerun on? Some of the earlier ones maybe is to solidify your choices here, or do you guys think you're ready to just go ahead and send her?
I'd really like to run back Cute.
Cute? Okay.
Okay, and I'd like to see Crystal again.
I didn't hear either of these, so this will be interesting to listen to.
Cool, well, we're just gonna go and watch Cute one more time here. Give it a run it back.
Is that shit right
Okay.
there, though?
Yeah, it's just not seeming nearly as bad as the other levels are.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Of course, Jackson's gonna scrub through this at some point and say, by the way, this part right here, this is what makes it impossible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna insert a laugh track every comment you make when reviewing this.
He's gonna
Very
pause it and
funny.
do a Ferris Bueller.
Alright, so this is why these guys are fucking idiots. They don't even know about the duality split here.
I will say, seeing this one again, it is making me... That was cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
I'm gonna swap Purgatory and Cute, so have Cute above Purgatory, having seen that.
Interesting.
Okay. Any other changes, or are you guys all pretty solidified on Cute, do you think?
I think my list is pretty solid.
Cute is definitely in the lower end here.
Cool.
I would like to see Crystal again, and then I'll be good.
Cool. Let's go and see if Crystal's still in the upper end for you guys. We're watching it one more time. Sending it back. I do like looking at this level, though. The decorations are insane on this.
Oh, I love this.
These crystals are handmade assets. You know, these aren't just in the fucking game.
Right.
Like, this is there's, like, you got, like, the foreground, the parallax effects and everything, too. Like, this is a visually stunning level.
Parallax effect.
It's like different layers of backgrounds moving at different speeds to give a depth effect.
Okay. The deal with Crystal, too, is this, like, he's dodging things, and I can't quite see what he's dodging. That's what I think adds to the difficulty, because he knows something's there.
Okay, I think I've seen enough of this one to be comfortable with where I have it.
We haven't even got to the fast part yet.
You've subjected yourself to this fate, Tanner.
Yeah, that is unfortunately one aspect of, like, this is like a very artistic level, and that is one problem with some of these, is that it does make it hard to, like, know what the actual gameplay is sometimes.
Right.
Because there's just so much shit going on. There's actually LDMs, low detail mode versions of these levels. That makes it more clear to see, but, you know, what's the fun in showing you guys those versions?
Look at that shit! Oh my gosh! This is almost on the fucking angel
cracked.
level, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm good with my my friggin' whatchamacallits, my rankings now.
Your dang old little list there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty dead set as well. I don't think any changes are necessary on my end from that one.
There we go. That's what it's about.
Well, please, guys, post your codes in the chat, or not your codes, just your overall lists, and I'll put them in, and let's get some fucking ranks going here. Alrighty, and just like that, I have ran the numbers. We know our final winner here, but of course, I am going to list the levels, difficulties in order here, and then I'll give you guys it so you guys can know where you're fucked up before you get your actual score, so maybe they have a bit more context when I finally read them out.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, at the bottom of the list, the insane demon of the challenge, we have Speed.
Hell
Speed,
yeah.
which is, of course, the level Supersonic. This is a super famous insane demon. It's like it's a pretty beginner level for people to get into these harder levels, I would say. Tons of people play. It's like it's like a prerequisite. Everyone does this level when they're increasing in skill, basically.
And we were able to sniff that one out no problem.
Yeah,
Hell
no tricks
yeah.
there. That one's definitely the easiest by far of this
There
list.
we go.
Next up, number 8, we've got W Hell.
Damn.
This one is the 560th hardest level in the game. The actual name of it being Sakupin Hell. This is another really classic level. This one was originally hacked and eventually verified originally.
Damn.
Verified, I can't think of the word. Verified, my brain was thinking truly, but, legitimately, there we go, legitimately. I don't know why I just lost all...
I think atmosphere.
I just lost all train of thought there. Anyways, our third easiest level here is Acute, which
Damn, I
is
think-
the... some of you guys got smashed on that, I think. This one is the 194th hardest level in the game, this being Coareta. This is another really popular one. It's just like, it's a good one for people to get into. I mean, this is hard as fuck still. It's almost like, it's top 200, but people like to play it a lot just because it's really short. So, people with less attention span can go and do this. It's more about, like, a lot of raw skill quickly, rather than, spreading it over a long period of time, and some of these levels are pretty long.
Dude, I think atmosphere fucked me.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, number 6, we've got C Duo. This one is...
Really?
This one is a
Damn.
pretty big jump up in difficulty above Coareta, though. This one is the 34th hardest level in the game.
That checks out.
And
That is a
This
pretty
one-
massive jump you made.
yeah, like I said, the difficulty in this challenge is because a lot of these at the top are pretty grouped up in terms of their, like, ranking. I'll also say these ranks aren't, like, totally accurate. I did account for the 2 new top ones being verified recently, so I kind of, like, knocked everything down, like, 2 of their actual ranks. If that makes sense for the audience, please don't crucify me.
They're gonna
No
eat you
context.
alive for that one, man.
Yeah. If I remember, I'm pretty sure this level's actual name is Codependence. I'm pretty sure the actual difficulty of like if you do it with 2 different people playing at the same time instead of just one person doing both tracks is like number 700 or some shit.
Oh my gosh.
A massive difference because basically it's just like 2 insane demons stacked on top of each other. So it's basically like 2 people playing Supersonic at the same time. If they fail, they have to restart.
Jeez.
So it's still pretty difficult, but you know it's nothing like super crazy. But yeah, solo it is fucking insanely hard. People have done it, but yeah, it takes a specific type of skill set to want to go for something like this.
For sure.
Anyways, number 5 we have Purgatory. Z Purgatory. This is the 17th hardest level in the game. It was once previously a top 1, being the infamous level Slaughterhouse. This one is just it's probably one of the more popular extreme demons in the game. It rivals some shit like Bloodbath. It's just got a ton of notoriety. The first part you guys were mentioning is a lot easier. That's just hard as fuck. A ton of really tight timings, and it also leads into a blind jump into the drop. So a lot of times you'll get through that hard ass intro section and then just fucking die to the first click of the wave section when it starts going fast.
Yeah.
And people hate the goddamn level because of that. Like the drop is fun when you get consistent with that because it's just fast and frenetic, but you waste a lot of attempts at that intro part and it's slow as hell, so people don't like it for that reason.
Damn.
Next up, we've got number 4. This being the actual number 15th hardest demon in the list. This one and Slaughterhouse are pretty close. This being Kyoki, aka Crazy.
Okay.
This one, fun fact, was actually created and verified by one dude.
Oh.
Love that guy for him. Huge accomplishment. Super insane to have the top player skill set and be able to create a level of that quality.
I was gonna ask, because I figured Geometry Dash was one of those games where if you create a level, you also have to be able to clear the level to post it, but is it just that anybody...
No, most people have other people verify it, so it'll be like a team of people sometimes on like a collaboration level, and then they'll have some top player verify it, so they'll like hop onto the person's account to post it, or they'll like upload a copy of the level like unlisted, and then the verifier will play on that and then upload it officially when they verify it.
Oh, okay.
There's different ways of doing it, but yeah, it's very rare that something like Kyoki happens where somebody makes a level and then verifies it. That basically never happens. So yeah, crazy accomplishment. Goated whoever made that level. I don't know your name, but love you for that. I doubt you're watching this, but who cares? Anyways, we've got the 3rd hardest level on our list, that being E Atmosphere.
Damn
this
it.
Is the currently it's the number 2 hardest level in the game. But I'm saying it's number 4 right now because there was the 2 new top 1 verifications that just happened. So I'm saying right now it's currently around number 4 hardest level in the game, this being Nullscapes. And yeah, Tanner, you're pretty on the money. This level is obscenely hard because every single jump is a fucking annoying ass timing. And it's the entire goddamn level. It's basically like a super hard platformer level built into a normal level. I don't think anybody's beaten this except for the verifier. Or maybe one person has beaten it outside the verifier. I don't know. It takes a very deranged type of person to go for a level like this. This shit is just fucking annoying. Or so I hear. I wouldn't know. I can't do any of this shit. It's all too hard for me.
I'm very curious how everything's going to shake out here in the end, because it does sort of feel like Tanner and I are neck and neck right now in terms of these placements. Angel is gonna fuck us over so hard, though. Like,
dude, that's
Jesus
like me in
Christ.
Atmosphere. That's what I've been thinking this whole time. I've been doing just fine. I've been, like, on the money with most of these. It's just that Atmosphere being second easiest really fucked me here, and it offset the order just slightly.
True. Anywho, we've got the 2nd hardest level on this list, aka the last one before the impossible level. This one being B Crystal.
Thank God.
Which is currently the hardest level in the game. This one did just get verified. The other top one that just got verified is Nullscapes. Thinking Space 2 is the name of the other one. Fun fact, that one was verified, and then I think it was like an hour or a couple hours later, Crystal or Amethyst got verified.
Gotcha.
So Thinking Space 2 technically was top 1 for like a couple hours until Amethyst got verified, and then it immediately got dethroned.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Pretty funny. So yeah, I used Amethyst. They don't have actual ratings for these yet, but basically everyone that's playing them, including the person that beat the fucking level, it says that this blows the last top one out of the water. So yeah, currently Amethyst number 1, and of course this should be unsurprising to you guys because of the powers of deduction. Angel, aka real name
Let's go.
Angelicide, is the impossible level. This shit cannot be fucking done. I mean, technically, some human could spend the rest of their life just grinding this. There are people that are playing this level too and trying to beat it. There's some fucker that has like 300,000 attempts on it, and they've got like a 10% run or something. Like, theoretically, somebody could beat it, but like, the reality is that nobody will ever even try hard enough to do that. This level is fucking chaotic, as you guys could probably surmise. It is obscenely difficult.
10% after 300,000 attempts.
It's so fucking hard. Angelicide is insanely difficult. If you guys want to, I'd go watch the YouTube video for it, link in the description. Play that shit at like 50% speed, and you guys will understand more about what's happening in the gameplay, and yeah, it's gonna knock your socks off.
That shit was in fact the red herring. I should have known. It was as hard as it looked.
It was, dude. I know you like to say the visual clutter, but honestly, visual clutter is a difficulty unto itself. So, like, I wasn't discounting that one at all.
From my perspective, it definitely just seems like the visuals don't matter all that much, and you're basically having to memorize all of these anyway, so...
I mean, yeah, that's valid. I'm not discounting your deduction there. I'm just saying it definitely still adds to the difficulty of the level.
True. Anyways, let's go on to the actual rankings here, not rakings. We got last place. Unfortunately, Blake was in last. You got 24 points. This is golf rules. 24 means you're 24 places away from the correct solution here. Blake went with Duo as the easiest, then Atmosphere, then Speed, Crystal, Cute, Hell, Purgatory, Crazy, and then Angel. So we got Angelicide, which is pretty good, but yeah, he got wrecked on Atmosphere, and Duo, those fucked him up. Crystal too, honestly. He had a lot of the higher ones pretty low, but also, you know, good first try. This is the first time you did it. You've got less experience than these guys, so unfortunately this outcome is not that surprising.
Figured as much.
True. Next up, we have Tanner in third place.
Really?
Thank God.
Damn.
With 18 points. His ranking from bottom to top here was Speed, Hell, Angel, Purgatory, Cute, Crystal, Crazy, Duo, and Atmosphere. I will say these next three are pretty contentious for the most part. I think the biggest thing that knocked you down was just having Angelicide so low. I think you would have crushed it if you had that one a little bit higher. Purgatory too, honestly.
Oh, it's gonna be a close one.
That one wasn't crazy off, but yeah, then we've got our top two here. Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da. We've got number 2, Nico.
No!
At 16 points, Nico went with Speed, Angel, Cute, Duo, Hell, Purgatory, Crystal, Crazy, and then he said the hardest one for him was Atmosphere. Yeah, I think same thing with Tanner. You got wrecked on Angelicide. That one fucked you up.
Yeah.
The rest of yours was pretty good, though, I would say, for the most part. You were kind of just, like, off by, like, shifting them down because of Angelicide. You would have been pretty damn close if Angelicide was in the proper place for the most part. NT, though, good list, man. You tried your darndest. We've got our winner of this challenge, which... Again, through the power of deduction, we know is Dylan. Congrats, Dylan, you won. You got 14 points. You won by 2 points over Nico. So this one was kind of a smoke show, honestly, compared to last time. You were, in fact, our underdog. You took the W.
Hell yeah.
And, of course, Dylan's list was Speed, Atmosphere, Hell, Cute, Purgatory, Crystal, Crazy, Duo, and then he guessed Angelicide correctly as the impossible level. I think the biggest one you got fucked on was Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Pretty low. But you were pretty solid on the rest of them, honestly.
What's really funny, too, is after ranking Atmosphere, I was like, I thought about Tanner's point of, it's gotta be really precise jumps. And in my head, I was like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That would make the level immensely more difficult. But then there was a part of my brain that's like, no, don't give in to their logic and coaxing. You gotta go with your own thought process here. So I didn't change my mind.
That's a bummer. I was so confident when I got Speed and Hell right. And then And then it all went to shambles after that.
Yeah, the Angelicide call really fucked two of you guys.
Yeah. Congrats, though, Dylan. Of course, your big prize for winning this is we are going to be putting you through Angelicide IRL. I hope you're ready for it.
Holy shit, no way, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Fun fact, Angelicide was the only level I couldn't crop the name out of because it was just in the middle of fucking gameplay, so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit. You guys couldn't read it anyways. There's too much bullshit going on.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, I was able to get higher quality exports of these because I figured out how to render things properly, so that was good. I hope you guys got cleaner visuals on my stream. I probably should have mentioned that I did upload these to the Google Drive, so you guys could have also done that, but I just totally forgot to do that shit. Whoops. I guess it aided with the surprise. Anyways, again, congrats, Dylan, on the W. If you guys liked this topic, please, down in the comments, tell us to do it again. And also, if you are keeping up and making your own list, please post what you thought the correct answer was in the comments. I'm sure a lot of you Geometry Dash nerds probably clocked all of these pretty quickly. Given, like I said, a lot of these are very famous levels. I still like Angelicide. I think Angelicide's pretty niche, given it's an unrated impossible level that nobody really knows about. But, the rest of them are pretty popular. Kyokyo is the top one at one point, Crystal is the top one, Slaughterhouse is the top one, Supersonic's classic. It doesn't matter. They're all very famous levels. Anyways, thank you guys. We are going to review some movies now.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably mention here real quick, though. Little stipulation for if you want to comment. You do actually have to beat Jackson's level first if you do want to leave a comment and criticize him.
There we go.
Jackson, what's the name of your level? You want to plug that real quick?
Oh, yeah. Go check out Chronexia by Lava Skin. It's like an 8-star, I think.
Damn.
Chronexia.
I gotta go beat that shit now. As the champion.
Speaking of champions, I can't wait to see the champion level movies we watched this week on Guapish at the Movies.
Guapish at the Movies!
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped that? Oh, what the fuck's happening? Oh, man, shit, man. Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face. What the fuck?
Jackson, what did we watch this week?
The Patreon pick this week, as requested by our lovely Patreon, Mr. T, thank you for the request, was the 1984 film, The Terminator. Tanner, you just seem like the type of guy that should give the synopsis of this one for no particular reason. Please go ahead.
And that song is the entire plot of the movie. Anyway, Terminator is about time travel. You have a big bad robot and then a handsome roguish character. The robot is trying to kill Sarah Connor, and the guy is trying to save her and then impregnate her, and they beat the robot. The end. Fun fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally considered for the role of Reese. And the director, James Cameron, was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he took a meeting with Arnold, and he was going into the meeting planning to just bitch Arnold out and be really mean to him. And then Arnold was a super chill guy, and so he said, well, do you want to be the robot instead? And Arnold was so down for the idea that when his own agent was like, hey, don't take villain roles, he was like, fuck you, I'm going to play the robot.
That's fun.
Very funny. What are the odds we get 2 time travel movies in 1 week, huh?
Holy shit, you're so right.
Anyway, what are our rankings for Terminator? Personally, I have mine at a B+.
Whoa.
I'm also at a B+.
I'm a little lower. I'm at a B.
I'm a little higher. I'm at an A-.
Well, this seems like a pretty conclusive rating here.
Temper check here, real quick. Question for the audience. Guys, do you think that Terminator is a horror movie?
No.
Not yet.
I wouldn't say the focus is, but they definitely have a lot of scenes that are very based in horror.
I think it gets worse. I remember watching this movie and immediately saying, man, I like the second movie so much more than this. Not to say that this movie's bad. I just thought, this is another one of those situations from when I was a child where I thought this movie was, or the next movie was the original, but yeah, I guess I just never seen Terminator 1 apparently, so. But yeah, I mean, I liked
funny.
it. It's pretty, I don't know. There was the one part that put me off a little bit, I guess, that kind of took away from the movie. Besides, the pacing was a little weird. It was a little slow, which was weird for, like, an action... I don't know if I can call this an action movie, but it's...
Yeah, it's an action movie.
But it's the way when he was in the apartment or the hotel room or whatever, and they had to do the fake face, how like bad that looked. That really took me out of the movie, because like everything else looked perfectly fine, and I wasn't entirely sure.
The Terminator at the end looked perfectly fine.
No, that's what I was about to get to. Like even the stop motion like Terminator robot at the end was kind of meh as well. I just, like, I'm comparing that kind of stuff to fucking RoboCop, because I think that looked especially atrocious, and I think this looked better than that, in my opinion, which isn't saying much, because in RoboCop that should look terrible.
It's kind of tough. I think it's composited better in Terminator, but I think it's animated better in RoboCop, so it's kind of a toss-up to me which effect is better.
The acting overall in this is fine. I don't think anybody did anything crazy. I think this the way that Arnold Schwarzenegger is in real life, portrayed as a lifeless, emotionless Terminator, just fits. I think that's why that works so well. I think I was talking to Jackson about this a little bit. They do have time travel in this, which gets a little muddy, but like they don't really go to any lengths to describe it, which makes it a little better. But
I'd say Terminator has probably some of the most straightforward time travel rules.
And also, who the fuck cares? Like, Jackson, fuck you, dude. Who cares?
Wow. Not even involved in the conversation yet. He's already getting roasted. But yeah,
I know he's gonna bitch and moan about it.
I don't really have anything else crazy to say about this movie. It wasn't anything, like, out of this world. It wasn't terrible. It was just kind of, you know, a movie to watch. I felt like it's something I had to see at some point in my life.
Yeah. For me, I think it's just a really solid action flick. I think it has a cool story. Obviously, this is one of the most famous movies of all time, so the story beats have been copied ad infinitum, but I still think it, being the original, does that well. I think the action scenes are really cool. I love the assault on the police station. I think that's a really fun action scene there. The negatives I have for this movie, some of the dialogue I think is a bit bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, even the, like, big quotable moments in this movie, they didn't really, like, carry the same weight as I expected them to.
It definitely feels like they retroactively became quotes after people liked the movie rather than the movie trying to make them quotes, you know?
Valid.
Yeah, the stop motion puppet looks bad. I think when it's the full shot of the thing, it looks pretty bad. When it's just like a waist up shot, I think it looks fine.
I agree.
And also the Terminator vision is bad and stupid, and they shouldn't have done that. It's so bad. It's worse than the Predator vision. I'll say it's that bad.
But like, who did it worse? Twisted Pair or Terminator? Let's be real here. Anyway,
I don't know what you're referring to there, to be honest.
I don't remember anything from that movie. I don't know why I said it either. Quite frankly.
Okay. Fantastic, Jackson. What did you think of the Terminator?
I'm going to be honest, guys. I was not here for this entire fucking topic. I was seeing Blake out. Anyways, my opinion on Terminator. I think the acting for some of the cast isn't super great. I will say I like the makeup they did on Arnold. I think it looked pretty solid until he turned into an actual robot, and that looked kind of bad. But also, like, I think the puppet wasn't terrible for 84, you know? I don't think it was like crazy offensive, frankly. I think it was serviceable for the time. It definitely lags a little bit, I would say, in the latter half, and also, this should be unsurprising, I don't like time travel. I do like time travel more when they don't explain too much of it, because time travel is just a fucking bad narrative device, I would say. It just has too many plot holes inherent with it. And this movie, I would say, does a good job because they didn't really explain it that much, except for the whole point of, like, they thwarted off the Terminator and then had the kid that's going to start the revolution against the robot. So, like, in the end, did anything really change? Or is this just, like, a time loop and nothing's ever going to happen? This is just the universe. I know it's you know, it's fucking time travel. I don't like time travel. This would be unsurprising. I'm sure you guys probably said when you guys were talking that Justin's going to bring up the fucking time travel.
No. We definitely didn't do that.
You're a fucking liar. Shut the fuck up.
I think I hit the nail on the head. But yeah, generally I would say I like the early parts of the movie a lot. I think the Terminator does a good job just being some fucking threatening dude. Some good action scenes. Like, I like the club scene. I like the storm of the police station. I don't know why the fuck I said base. It's a pretty solid
this
old
police
movie.
outpost.
Yeah, I think it aged relatively well for the most part. It's got it's stilted acting for a bit, and it lags a bit near the end for me, and then the final scene's kind of whatever. But generally, I'd say I enjoyed it for the most part. It was I don't think it lived up to my expectations of the Terminator, but I think it's cool for the time.
This one's a fine enough movie. Like Dylan was saying before, the second one is really the big one that everyone talks about, so...
The score is really good.
Yeah.
Instantly iconic and whatnot. Dun 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 dun,
I forgot that's where this came from. So when I heard at the beginning of the movie, I pogged a little bit, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Very funny.
But, I mean, dude, I've had so many pog moments, like the Buongiorno Principessa one, that one was, anyway, not important. Terminator is a weird series where it goes from bad to good, and then it goes immediately back to bad, so I can't wait for us to progress.
You're saying this one's bad?
I don't think it's great. I definitely think the second one's better. I don't remember
You gave
too
it a
much
B
about the
plus.
third one.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my god.
That's not
It's
what
above
B plus
average.
means. That's a
It's
decent
above
bit
average.
above average.
Yeah, B plus is like really good,
Oh, well, we all judge it by different opinions here.
I guess.
But no, I do recall... I recall the series getting worse. I could just be...
Oh, it gets
feeding
much
off of-
worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I
To be
can't
fair,
wait for...
I've only seen the first two, but yeah, I've heard the rest of them were bad. But I think we're getting a bit in the weeds on talking about the rest of the series. Do we have any more thoughts on this one?
Not
I hear
really.
one of the other Terminator films is pretty good. I don't recall which one it is, though. Maybe it's 4, or maybe 4 is the really bad one.
I've heard contrarians stand up for 3 and 4.
Okay.
So
Hey
I
guys,
don't
we're getting
know.
too in the weeds of the other movies. Let's get out of
God
that. Hey,
damn it,
Nico
you got me.
immediately.
That was the
Yeah, I was
joke.
about to say.
And he fucking immediately falls for it. It's crazy. It's
Tanner went for it
crazy.
immediately, which was the funny part.
That was some tasty ass carrot there.
I
I'm
think
not
we're
moving my
getting too in
rant.
the weeds about talking about me getting too in the weeds.
Anyway, if we don't have much else
I'm
to
sticking
say,
with my A minus.
I'm sticking with my B plus,
I'm rolling with my
Yeah.
B.
I'm gonna stick with my B plus as well.
and it lands at a B plus, right into the pile as they always go.
Dude, that's another green check mark for me. Holy smokes!
Whoa.
Regular 11 B pluses and shit. My pick of the week was the 2023 film The Flash. This is a film about the Flash, the DC. I almost said Marvel superhero. I connected this synapse in my brain there because he's in the same universe as Batman, and Batman's definitely not Marvel. Anyways, the Flash goes back in time to attempt to stop his mother from being murdered. And then they get sidetracked and stop the world being destroyed by some fucking alien guy in some other movie.
Fun fact. Michael Keaton at 71 years old is the oldest actor to ever portray Batman in a live action film.
Holy smokes!
I like when he said, "I'm Batman."
Yeah.
No Adam West. Shake my head.
Adam West was in this.
I don't remember what Adam West looks like.
Tanner, I'm just so fascinated. What is your rank for this film?
I'm at an F plus.
Holy shit! Jesus Christ! That's so much lower than I thought it was gonna be. Oh my gosh!
That's pretty
That's
insane. Dylan, do you want to bring us down to earth a little bit more?
Dude, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna rank this. I currently have it at a B minus, but that sounds too high.
Perhaps.
I'm kind of tossing in between. Like, I don't like this movie, and honestly, the more I thought about it, the more it's dragged down for me. I'm like in between D plus and C minus right now.
I'm in
That's
the
my
exact
word.
same boat as you are. I would like to give it the lower of the two, though, with the D plus.
Yeah, every time I try to think about it, I'm just like, wow, no, what the fuck are you talking about? We all saw the last 30 minutes of this movie.
It did get so. Oh my
So-
god, this.
Do you guys mind if I go off real quick?
Dude,
Please,
go
pop
off,
off,
Queen.
King.
So, this movie invoked a lot of the same feelings in me as Jurassic Park Dominion. in just how dog shit of a continuation of like a franchise I love it is. So the big thing with this one is it is an adaptation of the Flashpoint Paradox storyline, and it's a bad one. And I think in the same way that with Jurassic Park Dominion, I used the Lou Dobson decision they made to sort of exemplify all the problems with this one. There's one decision in this movie that to me exemplifies what's so bad about it, and that is the decision to make Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne. In the original Flashpoint Paradox series, when the Flash changes the timeline, it makes it so that Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, is the one who survives and becomes Batman.
Dude, I literally brought that up as we were watching the movie. When Batman appeared, I was like, oh, it's going to be Thomas Wayne. That's fun, at least. And then, no, it was Bruce Wayne. I was very confused by that.
It's not. And it's not just, like, part of it is, like, it being Thomas Wayne is, like, a cool twist for the story in the original thing. But also, like, it has a point where it's the Flash going, oh, my friend doesn't exist now. And then B, there's a moment at the end of the story where the Flash is like, oh man, I don't know if I should, reset things because I'll lose my mom. And then Thomas Wayne says to him, well, as a parent, I know that I would do anything to bring my child back. And that gives him a push to, like, reset the timeline and whatever. And they just change it, not only for no reason, but, like, it makes the story worse because you don't have those emotional moments there. And it also doesn't make any sense because Michael Keaton is already, like, 20 years older than George Clooney. So why can't he just be Thomas Wayne?
That's what I was about to say in that conclusion, is, like, he already is older, and they, like, define that in the plot of the movie. Why didn't they just make him... That makes it more confusing with your explanation, actually.
It just doesn't make any sense. And I don't know if this has anything to do with it. We're using, in this movie, Zack Snyder's Batman. And one of the big differences in the original story between Bruce and Thomas is that Thomas Wayne is totally cool with guns. But since we're using Zack Snyder's Batman, he already uses guns. And so I don't know if a writer was just like, well, since the gun thing won't be different, I guess there's no point in changing it in the first place. Which is stupid and doesn't make any sense. It's just, that's the point I'm making. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you choose to change that like that? And I think that's just the case with so much of this movie. It's just, it baffles me. I don't know why they're doing so much of this. Like, and the biggest problems, I'd say, are the effects. This movie is, I suppose it is not technically bad, but
I would go as far as to say it's fucking ugly.
I would say, maybe I would say it's technically, you're in the uncanny valley the whole thing. Nothing looks real or has any weight to it because you're just like, this is fake, and it's so obviously fake that I can't suspend my disbelief. I think there's a couple of I think there are action moments that almost get me into it, but like over the course of a whole action scene, it's not grabbing me at all. Like one example is the scene where at the very beginning when Batman is latched onto the back of that like armored car and he's like zipping around the highway and doing stuff, and I'm like, okay, this scene actually feels kind of cool, kind of action-packed with Batman doing all these maneuvers and whatever, but you have this giant, ugly CGI cape flapping in my face that looks terrible, and it is just taking any impact out of the action of this scene, because I'm like, my vision is filled with this bad CGI cape for some reason. And yeah, so, I mean, yeah, they butchered the story, they butcher a lot of the characters. It's just bad decisions on top of bad decisions, and it looks bad, and the action is bad, and it's a bad movie.
Honestly, what's fucked up about this movie is, it's about the Flash, and unfortunately, some of the action scenes were good. I think some of them were pretty solid. Unfortunately, it was only the ones involving the Batman. I did not like a single action scene focused specifically on Flash as a character. Batman was cool. Especially like old Batman was doing some cool ass shit. But that was it for the action, honestly. The rest of it just looks fucking bad, like you guys said. This is a horrendous movie to look at. It's just so rough. Like, his running is fucking crazy. The CG in a production like this is so noticeable and dog shit. It's actually absurd. And the entire movie's fucking CG. Like, especially like the final scene, like the whole final fight, just looks like a video game. It looks genuinely terrible. And there's plenty of other scenes like that too. Every time they go into the time loop bullshit, oh my fucking God, I was just like mouth agape. The baby scene, what the fuck is this? It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense that a movie of this budget and scale could get this level of treatment. You know, Nico brings up, like, if you can't do something good, why do it at all? Maybe you're onto something with this one. You've convinced me.
Just find an alternative that you can do well, and it's within your means.
Yeah. Something you mentioned just now, Jackson, is him running, and like, they literally make a joke out of it when he loses his powers and he's doing the goofy run. I'm like, okay, so you guys are aware he looks fucking retarded.
Oh,
why
okay.
are you doing it then? Why are you having him run like this?
I was gonna say, why...
It's like he's ice skating.
I was gonna say, I remember at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, maybe this is like a one-time thing at the beginning of the movie. And then he kept doing it. I'm like, why did they make him run like a fucking dork in this movie? Why can't they just have him do the famous Flash run? Like, what's so wrong with that?
I can almost guarantee it's because it was like some bullshit where movies, like modern movies, love to do this, where they take the fun out of things and they go and consult scientists and they're like, if somebody was actually running this fast, what would their body position need to look like for them to actually achieve these speeds? And they're like, oh, they'd have to look like this. So they make him do that to like make it make more scientific sense. This is, of course, me pulling this out of my ass. I could be totally
fucking
wrong.
Neil deGrasse Tyson just said, well, you would need to be skating because if you make constant foot contact, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, or some shit, destroy the ground. But yeah, no, I assume it's probably some dumb shit like that.
Yeah. There was a decent amount of cope around this film regarding the CGI, where people, I think it was actually fucking Zack Snyder, whoever the fuck directed this film, came out and said, oh yeah, so the reason things may look a little odd to you is because we're actually seeing it from the Flash's perspective when he's in the Speed Force. And it's like,
I remember
most of the time that's not when you're seeing this shit.
Yeah. No, it was directed by, like, someone no one's ever heard of.
Yeah. I just don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Tanner, I got a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
When was Nicolas Cage Superman?
He never was. It's a reference to there was, like, very briefly plans to make a Superman film with Nick Cage. And here's the thing about that. I believe that they purposely put out the rumor that he once was considered in preparation for this movie. I don't know if that was a public knowledge thing before this film.
Oh.
So they literally, they invented a niche reference for themselves to make in the movie.
That's fun.
That sounds retarded.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is. Why in that scene are, like, these alternate characters, like, bluish? Why are they glowing blue? I assume it's because when they did the 3D recreation of Christopher Reeves, it had to look bluish, and so they just made the other guys look bluish or something.
I guess so.
I don't know. Baffling. Fucking baffling. Why?
There are a lot of questions you can ask regarding the visuals, but as far as like the story is concerned, though, I mean, just the time travel. Let's get to the time travel real quick. I criticize Jackson for his hatred for the idea of time travel, but in this movie, like, they keep going back in time during the big fight. Why are there not additional flashes there? Why do they not keep additional flashes?
There are supposed to be more flashes according to the rules of this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, is technically when they did it the first time during the battlefield scene, they did, and when they popped out, there were the original two of them standing there when they, like, clicked heels or whatever the fuck they did, and then they went out and did shit. So I was like, oh, so now they're just gonna continue to infinitely make copies.
I don't think that was the original to them. I think that was just them doing that move again.
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was, like, two different sets of flashes there.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go double check that. That sounds like...
I mean, I don't know how you double check that. I'm pretty sure that was just them doing that specific move again. and we don't at any other point see like their old selves in those scenes.
Yeah.
Regardless of like what happened, I think we can come to the conclusion that they just straight up didn't follow their own rules of time travel.
Right.
No, they absolutely didn't. Which is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
And also, why does Batman know so much about time travel and like alternate universes?
Because he's really smart and has a lot of money or some shit.
Dude, because he's Batman.
Yeah.
He had prep time.
And also, at one point, when the new Barry keeps, like, going back and doing, like, his fucking bullshit, we see him get fucking killed by Zod. But then he just shows up again.
No, I don't think he gets killed. I think at that point
he gets, like, his fucking neck snapped by him.
No, I think he phased through his
healed.
hand or something.
Yeah, who knows? There's all kind of... Why does... I mean, I know the explanation they want us to believe is like, even though he has, these thousands of metal shards phased into his body, he just heals so quickly that's not a problem. But, like, that's bullshit and stupid.
Yeah.
Also, like, let's just talk about the Flash's powers at all. So, we saw this guy run across the fucking face of the continent in the blink of an eye, and you're telling me he has any difficulties in combat. Like, it's so inconsistent, the speeds he can go. And, like, I just want... Like, that's honestly the biggest problem with this movie, is just everything is so insanely inconsistent. And especially, like, with his powers, it really should not be an issue of people catching him in the middle of his thing, or, like, him having problems dodging things when he's running. Like, we've seen him book it, for lack of a better word, and then other scenes, it looks like he's, like, maybe, like, running 2 times faster than other things. Like, it's so fucking... Like, he should be mopping the floor with everything here. It doesn't make any sense. It's very stupid.
Yeah, the Flash, I think, canonically is the fastest superhero in the DC universe, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, like, the whole fight against Zod is so dumb for that reason. Like, I don't know how he keeps catching him out. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Personally, I'm fine with that just because Kryptonians are also super speed, not as fast as the Flash, but, like, fast enough that if they are able to anticipate his movements, they can catch him out. And, like, these are, like, warriors, and, the Flash is just some kid. So, like, that, for me, that didn't trip me up too bad.
But see, that's
for me,
like
with my
the
lack
big...
of context, it did.
That's like the big problem with like superpower movies or whatever you want to call it, is like sometimes you just have to nerf whatever's happening just so it makes sense for the plot, but unfortunately...
I mean, that's just like comics in general, though.
Yeah, like there are so many variations of superheroes. Like there are some like universes where the Flash is super powerful. I mean, this goes for any superhero, quite frankly, but like... Yeah, I don't like the varying power levels that occur. Also, I'm looking... One thing I forgot to bring up that I'm realizing now, why the hell are all the fucking Kryptonians besides, like, Supergirl... are they CGI? I feel like all the Kryptonians are CGI, and it's really fucking weird.
I mean, their suits are, at the very least.
Yeah.
Zod's face looks CGI, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing about him that makes him...
It's CGI because it's, like, projected onto the front of that helmet for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because he's fucking old now, and they wanted to make him look like he does in Man of Steel.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they did the whole Star Wars thing. That's very funny.
Also, I fucking hate this version of Zod, as I've stated previously, so that's also fucking stupid. Let me real quick say one other positive I have for this movie.
Supergirl is really hot.
Sure, I do think that the character arc for our berries actually kind of works for me.
Yeah?
My big problem is that this version of Barry is insanely unlikable, and I fucking hate every time he opens his mouth.
I don't like the whole thing where say there's an original, or there's a character that acquires a power of the character we're currently watching, and they're like, you can't do that yet, it took me this long to do this, and then the new character just immediately does it. Oh no, yeah, no, 100%, sorry to go out of a random tangent, they 100% had copies when they came out of that first time thing.
So where were they the next times?
Yeah,
that's what the amount of times he's apparently been doing this for God knows how long.
I was gonna say, so they immediately went against their own fucking rule, but then also... They were about to follow it. I'll see if I can nab a screenshot to send it to you guys. But regardless...
They had an extra 2 hours of footage cut out of this movie.
But, yeah, no, regardless, I'm sure the trope doesn't matter, but I hate when that happens, when they're like, oh, it took me this long to do this, and then the new character just does it immediately because plot needs to happen, I guess, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had no clue what to rate this movie, but after discussing it with you guys, I don't. I think some of the visuals are cool to look at. I think if you're looking at this as a not live-action movie, I think it's pretty cool, but unfortunately it's so CGI it might as well have not been a live-action movie. And it also doesn't help that The Flash is like my favorite DC character outside of Shazam, so...
I mean, that should affect it, because this movie's not good, and you should be mad that it bespurches your favorite character.
It does, trust me. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Okay,
But-
so looking at this screenshot, yes, you're absolutely right, which just makes it that much worse, because now it's even more why is he not succeeding? He hypothetically has hundreds of years of versions of himself all at this same battle. Why is he losing still?
Because time travel bullshit. This is Jackson's exact argument.
I hate time travel, I hate time travel, I hate time travel.
It's very badly done here.
At best, it's like minor, not even, depending on how they play, time travel is at best minor plot holes but, you know, if they try to explain any amount of time travel, it always ends up being massive, major plot holes. And I've yet to find a movie that has time travel that doesn't fall into this. I would love, please audience, if you're listening to this for some reason and you know a time travel movie that isn't dog shit, please let me know. I would like to be proven wrong.
My philosophy is as long as the movie is good, then you can just ignore it. Don't worry about it.
The problem is The Flash uses time travel and the multiverse. It's doing both of them at the same time. Why do they do the multiverse? It's not really relevant.
They do them. I mean, I know this was a rhetorical question.
I almost think
but-
they just want to show us a bunch of old versions of characters
Well, what I think's funny is
from good movies, and then we could be, hey, look, it's that character again.
Tanner, please choose a time to stop.
Maybe I
your
like
sentence.
this one. Maybe I like this movie because the character from the movie I do like is now in this movie.
I like that Batman's in this movie. I appreciate that about it.
I like
In the-
Michael Keaton.
In the marketing
I
for this
like
movie,
Michael
it's just
Shannon.
nothing but Batman, by the way. They did not
I
want
like
to show the
Nicolas
Flash because
Cage.
Ezra Miller is kind of a fucking psycho.
Oh yeah,
What'd he do?
he punched a lot of women.
Oh, that's right. I remember the stipulations around this movie now. I was gonna watch it, and then I heard
I
that
like
shit.
the
I'm like,
way he
maybe I
uses
won't.
the word stipulations. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I couldn't think of another word, and I wanted to use a fancy, longer word. Dude, another random tangent. Why the fuck does he do a goofy-ass pose before he starts running? The Flash doesn't need to do that shit.
Dude, it's so quirky though, you know?
Speaking of quirky, the dialogue in this movie, oh boy. All right, Barbie, let's go party? Hilarious.
Doesn't he just literally say, did that just freaking happen?
Yeah, I think he does literally say some shit like that.
Oh my god.
This movie is very unfunny, bafflingly so.
Rest
It's
in peace,
so
my
bad,
goat.
dude. It's so bad.
Perhaps D+ is too charitable.
I mean, you know where I stand on this.
You have a very, deep-seated reason to hate this, though, Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can drop it that low, and be honest. I'm gonna lower it. I just don't know if I could get down
Are
to
we?
your
I guess
guys'.
are we done talking about? I'm done.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
good.
want to talk about this movie anymore. I'm sticking with my F+, obviously.
I think after all this discussion, I can bump it down to a D. Supergirl is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this film for me.
She is Supergirl, after all.
I think I'm gonna stick at a D+ myself. I was looking at some of the things I have in D, and I don't think it's quite of that quality. Like, for all the shit we've talked about it, at the end of the day, it is a pretty serviceable superhero movie on the surface, and, you know, it's entertaining at times. It's got some interesting things at times, but yeah, most of the time it's pretty bad, which is why it lands at a D+.
The same tier as Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He keeps bringing it back. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it for sure. I'll give it a C-.
Whoa.
Yeah, a big reason why I'm not dropping it more too is mostly because, like, as I was watching it, I was like, this is pretty, like, whatever. And I don't think that's really changed a crazy amount for me. Anyways, that landed at a D overall.
Fair enough, I guess.
Finally, we've got something that's not a D or a B. We've got Dylan's pick. Maybe actually it's a B. I don't fucking know. We'll see. We've got the 1994 film Pulp Fiction, a Quentin Tarantino classic. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, so Pulp Fiction is kind of it's kind of weird because it follows different storylines of different people. You've obviously got your two main agents. Don't bother me to ask what anybody's names is. And they're kind of like doing like gang work for this one kingpin guy. And then, you got this one boxer guy who's supposed to lose a fight, and he doesn't, and ends up killing the guy. He's trying to leave town, and then they get into a thing, and then he's like all square or whatever. And then that boxer guy ends up killing one of the main agent guys, which was a big, like, shocking, revealing moment. I guess spoilers. And then at the very end, you find out why that guy was by himself in the apartment, not with his partner, aka Samuel L. Jackson. And we find out that, man, he's so done with that life. He just wants to move on. He, like, diffuses, like, a restaurant robbery. The end.
Fun fact, that Bible quote that Jules says before he killing people, it's almost entirely made up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, the last two lines of it are actually in the Bible. The rest of it is, I guess...
I was about to say...
I guess
just thought it
Tarantino just pulled
cool.
it. Yeah, he just
It does sound cool, though.
It does.
In fairness to him.
That
Alright.
shit almost got me to go to church.
No, it didn't. Don't fucking lie.
Alright, I'll kick off the rankings here. I thought this was a pretty good movie, guys. It was pretty good. Unpopular opinion. I'm giving it an A.
Unpopular opinion?
Yeah.
That actually is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't give it an S+. That is definitely an unpopular opinion.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, people talk about this movie like it is the second coming of Christ and is like the best movie of all time type shit. I definitely think it's good. I don't know about that good. I gave it an A+ currently.
Holy smokes.
I agree with you, Jackson. I'm like, listen, it's another of the really good Tarantino films. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's not even the greatest Tarantino movie I've seen. So I have it in S-.
Dude, I also have it in an S-. Alright,
Yeah.
Nico, why do you hate this movie?
Well, it really all just comes down to like that apartment scene where Bruce Willis is hanging out with his whammon in the apartment. It kind of just drags the movie down a lot. There isn't as much quippy dialogue during it, and I'd really prefer. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. But no, this is a fantastic film. Big fan of it. Insanely quotable, obviously. Dialogue is top notch and drives every fucking scene in this film. I do kind of question that. Why do we know why Bruce Willis didn't take the dive?
I think it's just supposed to be like, oh, his honor as a man sort of thing.
Is
Actually,
he fucking
no.
stupid?
That's not true. There was a conversation in the phone booth following afterward of what I'm assuming is a guy saying he was going to pay him a large sum of money.
It was like his honor as a man thing, but also he took the money that he was paid to take a dive and then used it to bet on himself winning the fight.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So.
That's fair
So
enough.
he made more money.
Yeah.
Which at that point, like, I don't know. Could he... I actually, never mind. I was about to say, couldn't he just, like, give the portion he borrowed back? But no, because, like, that guy paid him to make a dive and then made his own bets on the fight, and so he lost those bets, so never mind.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just gonna say, I think it's a very down-to-earth kind of movie. I think it's pretty easy to follow.
Disagree.
You don't think it's down-to-earth? I think it's very easy to follow.
I don't think anything like this really happens in real life.
Is that how that phrase is supposed to be used? Whoopsies.
Jesus. I agree with Nico. I think it has some pacing issues, some minor ones.
Yeah.
But aside from that, yeah, the performances, the creativity, and the dialogue and all that is just outstanding. You're like, God damn it, Tarantino, you did it again, but I prefer Reservoir Dogs because it's a bit more straightforward.
True. I will say jumping between storylines did get me for a second there. Mostly
I just got
because
so
I didn't
lost. I didn't know what was going on.
It wasn't necessarily that. It just wasn't what I was expecting out of this movie. To be quite frank, I didn't know what to expect out of this movie. But I liked the interaction between the characters. I think it all felt very fluid. It was dynamic enough. And I just... John Travolta's voice does not match his face. I will say that. But I just like how with Samuel L. Jackson... he somehow his performance just matches up so well with so many different people, and just like I said, the character interactions, the things going on, the drug overdose portion, that had some really nice tension in it, and just a bunch of shit going on. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
And listen, audience, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, oh, well, like, splitting it up and doing it out of order and presenting it in this short story anthology thing is the point of the movie, and that's why it's called Pulp Fiction, because it's an allusion to this style of storytelling, and it's kind of, poking fun at the sort of hoity-toity, Oscar baity sort of movies. But, like, tell the story in order, please.
For me, this movie is kind of like peaks and valleys, the movie generally has some pretty decent pacing, I would say, but it has its issues, and like a lot of the time there's like really good scenes in segments, followed by a lot of kind of just like people talking and banality happening for the most part. And it's just like we get like one really good scene, and then we go back into like a valley of like nothing really happening, and then like another really good scene, and just keep doing that the entire movie basically. Especially because of the timeline format, they can make it very consistent in like when that happens. Like they're very evenly spread out, it feels like, between the nothing happening and then like the really interesting scene going on, which I appreciate. Yeah. It's a good way of keeping your attention, but also like I don't know. I don't think it's the most engaging format they could have done the movie in. Especially if, like, some of them don't really have it, then it kind of just gets into, like, a lull, you feel. Like, honestly, the part I like the least about this movie, this may be controversial, is just where Tarantino was involved. The house scene with him trying to clean up, it just felt like it was going into, like, a comedy sketch, and it really just, I don't know, it felt very out of place for me. I get the idea as they're trying to, like, take this, like, really fucked up bad situation and make it kind of funny, and that's like the whole thing. They're like turning this like terrible situation on its head, and it's like a comedic thing for that reason. Unfortunately, it just did not really land for me. And there's some things like that too. This movie's very outlandish for the most part. Like they do get kidnapped by fucking gimp rapists at some point. That's just a plot line that happens in this movie. Like there's a bunch of crazy shit that's going on. It feels kind of nonsensical at times, almost, for that reason. But it is very engaging because of those peaks in those valleys.
I will disagree. I enjoyed that section of the film where they were just, like, hanging out in Tarantino's house and trying to discuss what the fuck to do with this body. And the wolf comes in, and he's a very likable character as well. I just enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I agree with Nico.
Yeah, I just didn't work for me. It just felt so out of place. And I just didn't really like Tarantino's acting either. He felt very stilted compared to everybody else. Like, you could definitely tell he wasn't an actor. Especially because, like, I think in a worse film, he wouldn't have really been that noticeable. But it's just the issue that everyone else in this movie does such an insane job with their roles. Like, the acting in this movie is easily the best part about it, the acting and dialogue. Oh, yeah. And, Tarantino just doesn't live up to that level that everyone else has. Like, everyone else is, like, on an S tier acting level, and he's on, like, a high B. He's fine.
Now, listen, I want to give Tarantino as much shit as I possibly can here, alright? I mean, like, the guy's a freak, but I think his acting is just fine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's just fine, whereas everyone else's was like peak. So like, it's just the contrast,
Dude, personally, I wanted more 7-minute long scenes of people doing the twist.
I thought you were gonna say saying the N-word.
Yeah. That too.
He did get himself a scene to say the N-word like 3 times.
He has a scene like that in every movie where he's just like, I'm gonna cast myself and do something only an animal would do.
I've been having the hankering to say, I just gotta get this off my chest. I need to write a scene into this movie so I can just rip a few here and there.
And I need to do it in front of one of them. It just has to happen.
One of them.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Quentin Tarantino, notorious racist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
alleged racist, from what we've heard.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen him suck on any black women's feet.
Okay.
When are we gonna watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
When you pick it.
When you pick it. Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
When are we watching Kill Bill?
When you pick it, Jackson, you said you wanted to do...
I'm waiting for one of you fuckers to do it with me. I've told you this so many times.
Wait, what do you mean you're waiting for one? What does that mean?
I mean, look, Jackson, next time that you guess my theme correctly and it's only you, you can have me pick Kill Bill. How about that?
Awesome.
How about
Do you just
that?
not want to use one of your picks on it, Jackson? What's going on?
I want to watch them like in sequence. So like I will pick Kill Bill 1 in the agreement that somebody else will pick Volume 2
Wouldn't that
like
have
their
to be
next
me?
week. No,
Or
like
vice
I pick
versa.
one next week or Nico or Tanner picks it
Oh.
the next week.
I see.
That's all I want. I just want to be able to watch them like back to back kind of thing. I don't want time in between it.
So White, wouldn't it make sense for me to pick the other one then? Wouldn't what
I
I
mean, you
said
can
work?
do it too. I don't give a shit who fucking says yes to that. I just want somebody.
You just made it sound like it had to be somebody else.
Well, I can't pick it fucking 2 movies in a week, so
I know.
anybody that's not myself can pick Volume 2. If we're talking about this too fucking long, Pulp Fiction, love this movie. This shit was sweet. Big fan.
I'm a pretty big fan as well. You know what? Because we're going into... I was about to say Gay History Month. That's not what it is. Pride Month.
Gay History Month.
Because we're about to be rolling into Pride Month, to show
They
my
should make it Gay History Month, and then they're just like, okay, so the first 4,000 years were pretty rough.
To show my solidarity with Dylan and Tanner to some extent, I'm going to up my rating to an A+.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm dropping mine down to an A. Get fucked. I'm just kidding. I'm keeping it at an A+.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my S-.
Is this it? Did it finally happen, Jackson?
Yeah, it's an S-.
Yeah, let's
cow.
go!
You did it,
Finally. I didn't think it ever happened, quite frankly.
Dylan. Dylan, had you seen this one before?
No. This
Okay.
was...
Did you know it's good?
Yeah, I put it on my list because I heard it was good. I just had never
Okay.
seen it before.
Fantastic.
Well, there we go, Dylan. You finally got a film in the S tiers. Time for you to start aiming for the S+ next.
And yeah, now it has to be a movie that I've seen that I think is good that I also have to somehow convince you guys is good.
That movie doesn't exist.
I know it doesn't.
I mean, I guess it could, but like, I don't think you've been watching much high cinema.
Pick some peak-ass Ghibli film or some shit.
Yeah, pick Princess
Mononoke?
Mononoke next.
Oh yeah, brother, he knows!
Yeah, I will say though, people hype this movie up to an absurd degree, and I definitely think it's a fantastic movie, but like, this isn't some earth-shattering shit for me. Frankly, like, it's a great movie. I gave it an A+. I think it's super good, but also, the level of hype this movie had did disappoint me a little bit. Like, going into it, I was like, this is the movie people say is like the masterpiece of cinema. Like, this is the best movie of all time to like half of everyone that's watched it. I don't get it, I think it's fantastic, but like, I don't understand to that degree.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it's mostly just like a timepiece thing. Like, back in the 90s,
Right.
I'm sure this was a much more revolutionary movie and like blew some fucking brains off. Nowadays, because it's like, it's kind of made movies into itself, I guess. I don't really know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Movies have kind of copied the formula, so it, doesn't feel as special maybe anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. I prefer Reservoir Dogs if we're talking Tarantino films.
I definitely agree. I definitely prefer Reservoir Dogs as well.
I can agree with that.
I think that one landed at an S, so that sounds about right.
Fantastic. Movies.
Tanner, that's you and me this
Yeah,
summer.
I guess I'll start. Okay, guys, we'll see if you guys can guess the theme. I have a specific movie I want to pick this time. So, like, if you get the theme right here, I'll have you collaborate with me to figure out which of my themes I'm gonna do next time. But you won't know what the theme is. You'll just pick one of the movies.
Okay.
It'll make more... Well, you guys aren't going to guess the theme, so I don't know why I'm even bothering. What do you guys think the theme was for Cats and Dogs and The King and I?
Nostalgia.
What year were these movies? 2000?
Oh, hang on.
way.
No. I'm axing my previous one. Because, like, Tanner, did you even watch Cats and Dogs as a child?
Who's to say?
Okay. I am instead going to go with... Hang on, let me double check something real quick here. I think I may be onto something. I feel as though I might just have what it is in mind here, okay? Just need to look
He's
at the other one
cracking
here.
the code.
Is it they both have the word and?
Okay. Dylan, what do you think?
Family film.
Okay.
I was also going to go
Jackson?
nostalgia, so I guess I'm just going to keep going with nostalgia films for you.
No, you guys are all wrong. The theme is random films that are seared into my mind.
That feels like
AKA
nostalgia.
nostalgia. I got your ass.
No, I'm not nostalgic for either of these, although I did watch them as a child. It's mostly just because in The King and I, the line etc., 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 right up here, man. It's never leaving me. And then from Cats and Dogs, the line Toto, annihilation.
Toto, yeah,
Right-
dude. Hell
right
yeah.
next to that one. That one is seared into my fucking memory for some
You
reason.
should start picking themes that we have a chance at guessing.
I have easier themes. It's just that you've had a bad run of it. So
I want to watch Kill
Yeah.
Bill, god damn it.
I'll pick an easier theme next time. I'll make that promise to you.
And he's also gonna pick Kill Bill this week.
Anyway, I need to right a wrong, and I need to wash a taste out of my mouth. And more importantly, I need Jackson to believe again. So I am picking, I think I want to say 2011, maybe 2013, but the animated DC film, The Flashpoint Paradox.
I had a feeling you were gonna pick that. I recall fucking the folks down over at Oni Plays, he was talking about how a fan recommended this film to him, so he watched it with a girl who came over, and they both fucking hated it, and he did not get any head that night.
That's funny.
For my movie, on the other hand, I don't really know what the fuck I want to pick this week, to be perfectly honest with you. I was thinking about... Let's just go with the movie I was thinking about, actually. Let's go with the oldest film on my list, 1967's The Graduate.
Okay.
And Jackson, what is the Patreon movie we're watching this week?
This week, we have a monumental pull from the Patreon bucket, I guess you could describe it as. We got the 2011 film We Need to Talk About Kevin, as requested by Lava Skin. This is the oldest one in our queue. I think it's been in there for 17 months.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Big dub for Lava Skin. Love that guy, whoever he is. I'm saluting you.
Yeah, I'm so
If you also
excited.
want to get your pick requested, somebody else is going to tell you about the Patreon.
Dylan is...
What? Okay, fine. Alright, so, for just $1 a month, take yourself on over to guapish.com/Patreon or Patreon/Guapish, whichever suits your fancy more here. And with that dollar, you give it to us. We give you access to the Discord, which allows you to request movies just like Lava Skin did. You get 500 slime coins for the slime bot whenever it's not broken. You get to talk to us. You get to suggest topics, and we'll probably talk about those topics. You get early access to the podcast whenever the episode goes live. You get access to our pre-guap, which is the show that goes on before the show. And to top it all off, for a final send-off here, you get your name right out at the end of every episode, just like GH, Slayed by J, Blake, Netigant, I Love Lesbians, Top Ramen Man, Twisted Pear Gave Me Testicular Torsion, Tutbot, Lucas Ledet Hunter, and Jacob Edward. Thank you guys all so much for your donations.
That's right, and if you too would like testicular torsion, then please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, ringing that bell. We'll be seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.